Police are investigating the circumstances surrounding a fatal early morning shooting in Fox Hill.
Avon Arby visited the scene where family members of the victim described him as a loving father.
Early this morning, police alerted the media of a homicide at Dorset Street, Fox Hill. ZNS archives indicate that it's been a place of a number of crime scenes in the recent past. Wednesday morning was not much different. Chief Superintendent Clayton Fernando.
On arrival, they met a lifeless body of a male, appeared to be in his late 30s, early 40s, lying in the middle of the street with gunshot wounds to the body. The only information we have, gunshots were heard in the area. Persons in the neighborhood came out and met the body lying in the street. We don't know the motive of this shooting at this time, but we appealing to members of the public in the Fox Hill community, the Dorset Street community, if they have any information that could assist in the investigation, to please feel free to come forward to assist in bringing closure.
Police identified the victim as 41-year-old Troy Cash, also known as Ghost, a man known to police. However, family members described Cash, an unemployed father of 4, as a good person who was well liked in the community. We spoke to his brother, George Burrows.
He never was a trouble nobody because, he always to come to me and say, Jungle, boy, time to stop doing foolishness because at his age now, he said he ain't got time for that. You understand what I'm saying? So I never knew him to be a person who would trouble anyone like now. Back in the day, I talk about years ago, he might have been not even troublesome, but nobody could have molested him. You see what I'm saying? Nobody could have bothered with him.
Burrows is a paramedic who has seen many victims of crime in sometimes gruesome scenes. He says he's more or less desensitized to violent crime, but his brother's violent death hits home.
I met him on the ground, with me being an EMS personnel. I checked him, he had some wounds. And it kind of hurt, man. You don't feel it till it reach home. Yeah. I mean, I've been on many calls, gunshot wounds and stuff, but I never felt this. I don't feel too bad, but how I feel this one because it reached home. But it's getting out of hand, man. It's something has to be done.
With a record 149 murders recorded in 2015, this year's homicides appears to be on pace to match what is termed the deadliest year in Bahamian history. I am Vaughn Albury, ZNS Network News.
A judge heard submissions today in the case of 2 men convicted of killing Dario China Knowles, the son of the late Dion Emperor Knowles, 2 years ago. The convicts, Rashad Sullivan and Patrick Hito Rose, are still awaiting sentencing. That's because jurors were unable to reach a unanimous decision last December, returning a 10-2 verdict, which meant it was a hung jury. A unanimous verdict is required for any defendant to be convicted of murder, but a majority decision of 10-2, Rose and Sullivan were found guilty of conspiracy to commit murder. During today's proceedings, Crown Prosecutor Darrell Taylor argued that the court can accept a majority verdict and can therefore sentence the convicts. The defense is expected to have its say tomorrow. At the same time, it's expected that the Supreme Court's decision will be appealed, which means the appellate court may have the final say in this matter. Prosecutors say whatever the outcome, it will be a precedent-setting decision.
Jurors in the trial of 4 men accused of robbing and killing senior immigration officer Shane Gardner and his friend Tishka Brainin had an early day today. This after murder accused James Johnson suffered an asthma attack and had to be taken to hospital. Presiding Judge Indra Charles then adjourned the case as she did not want to proceed in his absence. Johnson and his co-accused Daniel Coakley, Zint Warren Duncombe, and Cordero Saunders are accused of breaking into the Central Andros home of Gardner between November 24th and December 21st of 2013 and kidnapping him and Brainin. According to prosecutors, the defendants took the couple deep into the bushes on Newbold Farm, shot Gardner in the head, and placed him in a makeshift rock grave after he said he didn't have any money. Gardner's decomposing body was later discovered by wild hog hunters. Brainin's body was also discovered nearby in a hole about 10 feet deep. Darnell Dossett and Patrick Sweeting are prosecuting the case.
In other news tonight, authorities are asking your help in finding 35-year-old Tavares Roker of Garden Hills. He's wanted for murder. Roker is described as a dark brown male of slim build, standing between 5 feet 8 inches tall and 5 feet 10 inches tall. Police say he's armed and dangerous and should not be approached. The public is also reminded that it's a crime to harbor wanted men, and persons found providing them with shelter will be prosecuted. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of the suspect is asked to contact police at 919 or crime tipsters at 328-TIPS.
20-year-old Surveillance Seymour was hauled before the magistrate's court today on a number of serious offenses. The Claridge Road resident appeared before Chief Magistrate Joanne Ferguson Pratt, accused of 8 counts of armed robbery, 2 counts of attempted armed robbery, and 1 count of causing harm. The incidents reportedly occurred between February 3rd and 26th this year. It's alleged that Seymour, while concerned with others and armed with a handgun, robbed victims of vehicles, cell phones, cash, jewelry, and other personal items. Seymour was not required to enter a plea to the charges. Instead, he was denied bail and remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. The case will proceed by way of voluntary bill of indictment, which bypasses a preliminary inquiry. He's expected back in court on April 25th at noon for service of those documents.
The 53-year-old immigration officer, Norman Bastian, who was accused of raping a 28-year-old Jamaican woman, has been cleared by the court. This after Chief Magistrate Joanne Ferguson Pratt threw out the preliminary inquiry in the case after determining that the evidence of the alleged victim was not credible. A preliminary inquiry is usually held for the court to decide whether or not there's enough evidence against the accused to proceed to trial. Meantime, prosecutors are expected to appeal that decision.
If you know of a crime, please call Crime Stoppers at 328-8477, toll free 242-300-8477. You can also check them out on www.crimestoppersbahamas.com. Let's stop the crime before it's your time.